My parents sold our family home without telling me. I thought some things in life were forever, that no matter what changed, home would always be there. The smell of my mother's cooking, the sound of my father's radio on Saturday mornings, the laughter, the arguments, the memories, all tied to those four walls. But one phone call changed everything. I found out my parents had sold the house, the only home I'd ever known, without even telling me. This is the story of what it feels like to lose home, not because of strangers, but because of the people you love the most. I grew up in that house, a modest 2-bedroom with cracked tiles and faded paint, but it was filled with warmth. My parents built it from nothing, piece by piece, year by year. Every corner told a story. The mark on the kitchen wall was from when I spilled a pot of stew at 12. The window in my room always squeaked when it rained. It wasn't just a house, it was part of us. When I left for college, my mother hugged me tightly. She said, "No matter where life takes you, remember, you'll always have a home here." I believed her. I carried those words with me through every struggle, every lonely night away from family. Years later, I got a job in another city. I'd visit home during holidays, always greeted with the same smell of fried plantain and laughter echoing from the living room. Even when things got tough, that house grounded me. It reminded me of who I was and where I came from. Then one year, something started to change. My father became quieter. My mother avoided certain topics. When I asked how things were, they'd just smile and say, "We're managing." I didn't know that behind that smile, they were hiding a painful decision. It happened on a Tuesday evening. I was at work when my cousin called. She sounded hesitant. "Did your parents tell you?" she asked. "Tell me what?" "They sold the house." At first I laughed. "No, that's impossible." But her silence told me everything. I left work immediately, my hands shaking as I dialed my mother's number. She picked up, her voice calm. I asked her if it was true. There was a pause, a long, heavy silence. Then she sighed. "Yes, it's true." I felt my heart drop. "Why didn't you tell me?" She said softly, "We didn't want to worry you." That night, I barely slept. My mind replayed every childhood memory, every moment tied to that house. When I arrived the next morning, the compound looked different, emptier somehow. My father was sitting outside, staring at the ground. "Why?" I asked. He didn't look up. He just said, "We couldn't keep up anymore. The repairs, the taxes, we were drowning." I wanted to be angry. I wanted to scream. But when I looked at them, all I saw was exhaustion. They weren't careless. They were tired. Still, a part of me couldn't understand. Why didn't they trust me enough to tell me? My mother held my hand and whispered, "We didn't want you to feel burdened. You've worked so hard to build your own life. We didn't want to hold you back." And that broke me even more. A week later, I went back to see the house one last time. The new owners were already renovating. The garden my mother loved was gone, replaced with concrete. My room had been repainted. Even the old window that used to squeak had been replaced. It didn't look like home anymore. Standing there, I realized something. Sometimes life moves on even when your heart isn't ready. I sat outside under the mango tree one last time. I closed my eyes and listened, imagining my father's laughter, my mother's voice, the life that once filled this space. Then I whispered, "Goodbye." Losing that house taught me something I'll never forget. Home isn't just walls or furniture. It's the people, the memories, the love that lives in your heart. My parents did what they had to do, and with time, I learned to forgive them. Because sometimes love means making hard choices, even when it hurts the people you love most. Now, when I visit them, they live in a smaller apartment. It's not fancy, but when I step inside, I still feel that same warmth, my mother's laughter, my father's quiet strength, and I realize home followed them. It wasn't the building, it was us. We often hold on to things because we fear losing our past, but sometimes God allows certain doors to close so new ones can open. If you've ever lost something precious, a home, a friend, a dream, remember, what's gone might make space for something greater. Home is not a place. It's the people who love you, even when life forces you to start over. Thank you for listening to my story. If this touched your heart, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe to Jedim Network, where voices heal, stories inspire, and every story changes a life.